The next thing we want to add to this app is a function that makes it so that you can't see the vote totals while you are voting yourself, as that might influence the results of the votes. So we're going to do this using a helper inside of the footer template. I'm going to call this helper has voted. And so if the person has voted, then we want to be showing the results of the vote. So you can see I've implemented that here. Now we need to put in a helper in the footer template that does just this. So I'm going to put that in down here. Okay, I'm going to call this has voted. And now to do this, I'm going to use a special kind of reactive variable that's called a session variable. This variable is one where you can set the value. You don't have to do any special definitions in the beginning for what this variable is. This helper, I'm going to say, is returning the value of a session variable that I am calling has voted. And I'm seeing if that value is true. So we'll go into the details of how this works, and hopefully you'll understand why we're doing this the way we are. So we're returning this session variable, we're getting the value of this reactive variable, and we're seeing if it is equal to true or not. So if I save this now, the page will reload. And you can see here that you can't see the results of the vote. Now, I'll show you real quick that you can change this using the session variable. If I get the value of the has voted session variable, you'll see that it's undefined. There's no value. But if I set the has voted variable to be true, you notice that this makes it so that you can see the results of the vote. If I set that equal to false, that disappears. And so this is where a reactive variable, this special kind of reactive variable called a session variable, is really useful. Now, we need to be able to set that value within our program. And if you think about it, we want to be able to see the results of the vote after we click the button. So we can do that within the handler right here. So we can put in a line that says session.set. We want to set the reactive variable has voted to be true. So we're going to do that. And now if I put in my name and then I vote, I'm then able to see the results of the vote. Another thing you may want to do to make it so that you can't vote multiple times is hide the voting buttons once you have voted. So we can do that using the same idea. We're going to do this up inside the voting buttons template, but I'm going to make this unless has voted, because I want to show the voting buttons unless the user has actually voted. So I'm going to put that in, save it, and when the page refreshes now, we don't see the votes. But if I put in my name and I put in a vote, oh, something happened. Oh, I forgot to put in the helper for the voting buttons template. Silly me. I'm going to actually make this handler very similar to the one that I used here. So I'm going to put this in a voting buttons helper. So we're going to type template. Go out. So I made some helpers here, put that in there, and I'm just going to paste this helper for has voted right in there like that. We will save it, and we'll see we can't see the vote totals, but if I type in my name and I vote, the vote buttons disappear and the vote totals reappear.